Hey everybody, it's your girl Angie. Welcome back to Kiss My Cheeks TV. I'm here to give you Real Housewives of Potomac, the reunion review, part 2. So let's jump right back into this. I just finished part 1, so part 2 opens up right where they left off with Mia and Candace arguing some more. Um, Candace is telling people you can't control how I respond to your bullshit, and I agree. You can't come to somebody telling them that you got all the money, you a boss. Hey Eric, thank you for coming back. You can't tell everybody how much you a boss and you got all the money and you was just looking for this and your music video was low budget, and then when somebody hits you back with it, your mama, you can't go crying about a relapse. Like, you can't control how people respond. Um Mia says one day she gonna need an ass whooping, and Candace is like, you gonna whoop my ass? And Giselle is like, girl, she 3 feet taller than you. You don't want to fight her, girl. The bigger they are, the harder they fall. That's what they say. That's what they say. I've seen the smallest people whoop the biggest people's ass. Size don't have nothing to do with it. But Candace ain't got no hands. I was just saying that to be talking in general. But I don't think Mia doesn't give me. She already said she got too much to lose to be fighting, and I agree. And Mia watches. She know Candace will sue her ass. Let's move on from that. What did I say? Okay. This is where everyone is trying to get Candace to pipe down, and Ascala and Wendy are jumping in. It seems like everyone wants to tell Candace, you're the problem, you're the problem, your mouth is the problem, your mouth is the problem. But no one is willing to take the accountability of starting shit with Candace. Now, Candace does start her fair amount of shit. We ain't gonna sit back and act like Candace ain't never started no shit anywhere on this show. She does. But people have started with her, and if she gives you a verbal lashing, that's supposed to be your warning to leave me alone. But it seems like people like the verbal lashings because they keep starting with her. Karen says her and Giselle can shade each other, but they don't go that low. And I'm so happy they played the clip, because I'm like, Karen, are you really still upset because Candace told you to go burn in eternal hell? People say that shit when they mad. This is a TV show. Like, really, this is a TV show. I have to really believe Karen is not that upset. They just trying to make good TV. Karen, you told Giselle that she had a hot box. She been to Sing Sing. She's a whore from Hampton University. And off camera, you brought up her drinking drugs and she went to the mental institution. We all heard the tea about Giselle going to that mental institution. That was very below the belt. Very below the belt. And Giselle knew exactly what you were talking about. Giselle made t-shirts talking about free Uncle Ben. And Giselle said this whole season, I'm gonna make it a point to spray Karen and all her tea and call her alcoholic and a drunk. All of this shit is below the belt, because remember a few seasons ago when Ashley tried to make it seem like Monique was an alcoholic when she had that car accident, and everybody was like, oh, that's so below the belt. How you gonna do that? You trying to accuse her of drinking and driving? All these bitches do it, and I'm so happy Candace in this moment stood in her own and was like, all of y'all bitches body shame. All of you all go below the belt. But why is it me when I do it? I'm the only one that y'all have a problem with. When I saw Karen siding with Giselle on the Candace situation, we're going to get to the colorism at the end. It did look very light versus dark to me. It did. It looked like Candace, Wendy, y'all need to stay in y'all place. But us light skins, we can say whatever we want. I know that ain't what they said, but that's how it came off when all of them were jumping up on Candace and Wendy, like they need to police their reactions, but we could say whatever we want. I didn't like that, and Andy, why you didn't call this out? Now they talking about Candace body shames people. And just last season, Karen had a great read about Giselle and her stovepipe legs. We all laughed at it. It was funny. It was funny. And nobody got on Twitter talking about Karen is body shaming Giselle and her stovepipe legs. You know, they do always make Candace a villain. And I ain't no Candace fan. But on this point, they are trying to vilify Candace. And what they're trying to do is control her by saying, you might find yourself iced out with nobody to talk to if you don't control your mouth. Why does Candace have to find herself iced out? Why can't you all control your mouth? I don't know. And to me, Candace only has a mouth because you all can't read. Candace can't read. Candace gathers and she gets those people together. You all can't do the same. So you want to control her because you can't do what she does. Or most of the time when people can't, because I believe Kenya said it about Portia, or I don't know who said it. When people can't read, when they can't fight with their words, they want to fight with their hands. So now Candace is the common denominator. People want to beat her up because they can't go back and forth with her. When really you can, y'all just ain't smart enough to do it. But let's move on. Then they're trying to say, you know, Candace called Ashley wide. I agree. So because Ashley just had a baby, she can talk shit to us, but we can't say nothing about her because she just had a baby. Like, miss me with that. That's a no, ma'am. Candace says that they bully her. I don't think they bully Candace. I didn't see that. But Wendy just says Candace knows how to stick her landing, which I just take that as Wendy and Candace speak very intelligently. They're very smart women, very educated. I'm not saying the other women aren't educated. They just don't use their brains as well. Wendy and Candace know how to read. They know how to get you together. And you all don't know how to do anything else but say, oh, but you ain't got no man. Oh, you don't know how to dress. Oh, your man won't Karen Lyles or whoever the Lyles lady was. Like, that's the extent of you all's reads and vocabulary. So when they come at you with something a little bit deeper, it's like, oh, but now I want to kick your ass. Let's move on. I already talked about Karen telling Candace that they might tune her out, and I said that's just code words for they're gonna try to ice Candace out. And if they do that, I'm gonna be mad. Karen, if I see you next season teaming up with Giselle, Robin, Mia, any other light skins, and I ain't saying this to be mean because I'm light skinned. I ain't trying to be in the colorism, but that they all just happen to all be light skinned. If I see you with them green-eyed whores teaming up to ice out Candace, Karen, you're not going to be my fave no more. I ain't going to want to see it. I don't want to see it. I like Karen when you can stand on your own. I don't want to see you get into this group think of Candace and her mouth needs to go. I don't want to see that, Karen. They said Candace, they talk about Candace a lot. Like, damn, I done had about 10 pages of notes and this all been about Candace ass. They said Candace's tongue is verbal abuse. I disagree because I've seen verbal abuse. That what Candace does is not verbal abuse. What she does is hit you where it hurts, which is what she's supposed to do when you're in an argument. No one argues and be like, bitch, that's why your sweater cute. Like, no, bitch, that's not how you argue. So I really don't get it. Candace talks about that moment when Giselle brought Robin in Ashley's face, trying to get at least Andy to see all of these women are aggressive, not just me. It's not just me. But let's move on, because why are we talking about Candace so much? We still talking about Candace over here. I already talked about Candace and her lack of accountability and her triangle tissue tears. All of that is aggravating. But let's move on. Let's get into another topic at hand, because I swear I didn't realize that it was the Candace show until I did this review. I'm like, damn, I'm steady talking about Candace. Girl, that's a good thing. When you are consistently the point of conversation, keep your money coming in, girl, because you see we ain't talking about Ashley ass. You see Robin ain't said but 2 sentences. A scholar came out on the stage and said more than Robin. So Candace, keep making your money, girl. Let's move on. Mia and her social media. I really don't want to talk about this because I've already said in review number 1 that Mia is a liar. I don't believe anything she said about this social media manager. Even if you have a social media manager, you don't give people complete, utter control to post whatever bullshit they want on your account without your approval. So anything, even if she had a manager that was reading and dragging a scholar on social media, it was all done with Mia's approval. So miss me with it. It was all lies. Now, scholar, you came out here with your printouts. Girl, try again. Try again. We done already seen the binder. If you ain't got at least the binder, leave your piece of paper at home. You saw this season. We ain't seen it yet, but you see Wendy had to come with some cardboard cutouts. You can't take steps back. We done already seen people scroll to their phone. We done already seen people pull out their pieces of paper. Girl, you got to have them organized at least in a folder. You had that shit crumpled up in your bra. No, ma'am. You should have left them papers at home. We all knew what the hell Mia said, and we all know Mia is a liar. Now they call Mia a classist. I don't even think Mia is a classist. I think we've already talked about this. Mia came from nothing. And this is something she said about herself. And she finally is in a position in her life where she's making $450,000 a year. Now, to me, that ain't really big ball of money. It's more than what I make. But still, like, bitch, if you weren't calling out 7 figures, you should have left your salary to yourself. That's just me. Because when she said it, she was like, and now I make $450. And I'm like, okay. All right. But let's move on from that. I just think Mia is now at a point in her life where she has money, and you know what they say about people with new money. They flashy with it. And eventually, because she didn't do it the whole season, it was a point in the season where Mia quit throwing money in people's face and I'm a boss. And it ain't no different than Wendy last season talking about her 5 degrees. Like, bitch, don't nobody care you got 5 degrees, them you and your student loans. So let's move on. Now a scholar is asked to exit the stage. And Mia was like, y'all really brought her out here to say 2 sentences? And I agreed. I'm like, a scholar, you pay all that money for that ugly ass dress just to sit on this stage for 2 minutes. Anyway, now it's time for them to take a break, which I'm happy they did, because I was tired of Mia and Candace. Like, ain't nobody else was on the show. We can't talk about nobody else. We ain't talking nothing about Mia, Candace, and Jamal. We talk about bitches ain't on the show. When Wendy got up and went into Candace's room, that was the first time I noticed how ugly Wendy's dress is. When I did my cast assessment, I think Wendy was somewhere in the middle, because her dress in that photo, it wasn't that bad, but all this shit over here on the shoulder I never liked. But then reunion part 1, when I saw that this on the shoulder wasn't even pink and it was bone, like bone, the color of the back of this Post-it pad. When I saw it was that color, I said, oh, that shit is ugly. This shit ain't even all the same color dress. Then when she got up and I saw the stomach part was sheer, but it wasn't even flesh tone sheer. It was like white. The back of the dress had white shoestrings. And I said, girl, this dress ugly as hell. Wendy done just went to the bottom. Wendy is now worst dressed of the reunion. Thank God she ain't spin around in them photos. She would have been worst dressed on my cast assessment. And Oh, everybody's dress is looking a fucking mess the more they sit up on this stage. I really am starting to think that maybe, no, because Candace's wig get uglier. Somebody is so shady. They took a close up of Candace's wig, and she trying to say Ashley forehead ain't that big, but Candace got her wig down here to her eyebrows, and her baby's hairs swooped all up under her nose. I said, bitch, the wig already look a fool, but then you let them place that wig all the way down here. Let's get back into the reunion. Back into the reunion. Okay, up next, Karen and Giselle. Finally, somebody not Candace, because first, Andy wants to know what is a fiery box. And they're like, Andy, that's a STD. Andy knew what the fuck a fiery box was. Eric, you ain't see the wig. I wish I had a picture because somebody put it on Twitter and they showed how Candace's forehead would be big, but her wig was all the way down here. That's how people who have big foreheads cheat themselves. They just pull their wig all the way down. But whenever because I feel like I have a big forehead. Hell, that's 4 damn fingers right there. That's a damn shame. But I never pull my wigs down because I feel like it cuts off from the dimensions of your face and it just make your face look weird. I don't know. But getting off of her wig. They said the fiery box comment came from the blogs. Wendy was like, we should discredit blogs, right? Because it's the same blog that said the Eddie rumors. Now this, after the break, everything Wendy gave Giselle, I was here for. I was here for everything Wendy gave Giselle after this break. Now they have some apologies. Giselle wants an apology from Karen about Jamal, but Wendy says if Karen can apologize to your kids for what she said last season about Jamal, you should apologize to my kids for what you said this season about their father. And what did she say? She said, but what Karen said about Jamal was facts. And I had to put my thinking cap on because last season I thought it was Monique was the one roasting Jamal. I don't remember what Karen said, but I'm like, Giselle, this is where Giselle is a liar because she talking about her kids was upset. Girl, them kids read you down about their daddy this season. Talking about we don't even know how to have a good relationship because we ain't seen our mama or our daddy in a happy, good relationship. We ain't got no damn example. So how they upset about what Karen said when they done read you to your face. And then she talking about, and Grace's friends looked at the show and you were looking at Grace funny. And I feel like you should apologize for Grace for the way you looking at her. And I'm like, bitch, you lying again. You lying again. Them kids, ain't nobody, one, Wendy didn't look at Grace any kind of way. 2, them kids ain't that focused on how Wendy was looking at her. No ma'am, Giselle. No ma'am. Wendy, you a much better woman than me. Because I would have never apologized to that bitch. And I know you apologized to Grace, but to me, this is what Giselle does. She comes up with little shit and throw her kids in it. My kids was upset and you owe them an apology. I would have never apologized to that bitch because when you now I ain't calling Grace a bitch. I'm talking about the mama Giselle. Because when you apologize to Grace, you are giving in to what Giselle wants you to do, which is making her ego go up like, yeah, I got this bitch to apologize. Now, do you think Giselle ever apologized to you? Did she ever apologize to Karen? Now, she ain't owe Karen no apology. I don't even want to talk about that whole wishing death on Ray shit. But let's move on. But Wendy did apologize and she said she was being a bigger person, but it wouldn't have been me. I gotta flip my notes over. Let's go. So now Giselle and Karen want to make up, and this irritated me. And she talking about Karen, because all she needed was her triangle Kleenex to Karen. You came to my house. You came to my tent. It wasn't a house. It was a tent. You came to the tent with a gift, and that's class. You were a classy lady to bring me a gift. And then you hugged my children. Like, you didn't have to hug them. You didn't have to get up out your seat and hug them children, but you hugged my children, and that just meant so much to me. Let me tell you something. Any bitch get on national TV and say, I got a fiery box. I don't give a fuck who you hug. You could hug my son, my mama, my husband, my daddy. I ain't got no words for you, bitch. I don't give a fuck who you hug. Matter of fact, I'm gonna check my son. Chicks, get the fuck away from that bitch. She done said I had a fiery box. We don't fuck with her. She just here for the TV show, but you ain't gotta hug her. So that's some fake shit. This is fake. It is so fake. Giselle, you are a good mother. I've been around your children. I watched them grow up. You are a good mother. Now, I ain't taking away from her mothering. I feel like Giselle is a good mother. But that's all it took for y'all to make up. Y'all been dragging each other all season. Karen a drunk. Karen is this. Karen is an alcoholic. Ray don't want to fuck Karen. Giselle box on fire. Giselle is a whore in Hampton. But all I got to do is hug your daughters and all is well. And then, what's his name? Andy talking about, okay, ladies, hug it out. Yeah, Karen, let's hug it out so I can grab your booty. What? Now, it might just be me and my circle of friends. And I have plenty of female friends. I've never once wanted to embrace them, grab their booty, and give it a little hump. I've never in life, ever, even when I'm drunk, I've never, ever wanted to do that. Even my male friends, even my husband, like when I embrace somebody, I want to embrace them. I don't want to just, that was very strange to me. And what was even more strange is the side eye that Robin was giving, like, I wanted to grab her. Stop. I ain't gonna go there. Let's move on. It was just very strange. Do y'all grab y'all friends by the ass when y'all hug them? I don't, it could just be me. I don't know. Everyone is different. I already talked about the grabbing the ass. Oh, but then at the end of it all, they talking about, oh, but we gonna shade each other next season, which tells me they have an alliance. It tells me that they're always friends and they agree every season. I'm gonna say this about you and I'm gonna say this about you, but we cool. Let's get this money. I feel like that's Karen and Giselle. I already said that. I said I pulled y'all card. I said y'all bitches been friends this whole time. Y'all never had no fucking storyline. Karen or Giselle, and Karen, you know you my favorite, but you don't never have no storyline. Y'all storyline every season is to shade each other, which is cute. It's funny. I like it, but if you gonna not be friends. And y'all do this whole make up to break up. Like, I agree with Giselle, and you know I hate agreeing with that bitch. You had a problem with what I said about Ray. Why you didn't bring this up season 4, 5, 3, 4, or 5? Why you brought it all the way up in 6? Because you ain't had no storyline. The same reason why Giselle's storyline is to find something in the blogs. And I got questions. Let me ask my question. I can ask you a question like, bitch, no, you can't. Until you can answer one, you can't ask one. Yes, Eric, they were grabbing butts. Moving on. Okay, Ashley. Finally, somebody else. Ashley. They talk about Ashley's postpartum and she feels better with the placenta pills. Nasty. I don't care nothing about that. I mean, if you organic and stuff like that, do eat to each their own. But that don't want to do it. I don't really want to talk about Candace, so let's try to fast forward. Okay, this is the point I wanted to make. They tried to say Candace was making fun of Ashley's postpartum body, but then they brought up the fact that Michael was in that car talking about keep working out and I might want to have sex with you. And what's her name? Ashley was trying to say what Michael said wasn't as bad as Candace calling her wide hips or whatever, wide face, whatever she called it. I said, girl, what your husband said was worse because you are the one who has a bond or a bind, whatever it's called, sacrament. You know what I'm trying to say. You got this connection with your husband. He's supposed to love you for better or worse. You done popped out his big-headed ass baby. And now you ain't skinny enough for him to want to fuck. But Candace calling you a wide hipped or a wide body is worse. Your husband just trashed you on national TV, but what Candace said was worse. Okay. Okay. But it was funny when Ashley was like, look, I need your bob to stop weaving. They had some good one-liners in this reunion. Okay, let's hurry it up because I got a whole bunch more to go and I'm almost at the 30-minute. Okay, this is where Candace lost me, and this is where I don't rock with Candace at all. Okay, Candace said it's colorism in the group. She said, Ashley, you light skinned, and when you said my hair was dry, I didn't think that was right because you multiracial with that good curly. She didn't say good curly hair, but she said something about curly hair. And I'm like, bitch, are you kidding me? It's light skin privilege to say your hair is dry. Number one, I'm light skinned. My hair is dry as fuck. My hair eats conditioner. It eats moisturizer. That's why they call it wash and go. Like, I can't go like some people who can wash their hair and put that diffuser on it and their curls will last for a couple of days a week. I cannot. Every day I have to wash my hair and put oil and product in it. My hair eats product. It's constantly dry. And then number two, bitch, you wear wigs. I don't think in all the seasons of this show I've ever seen Candace with her real hair. So, bitch, how are we going to say your hair is dry? She was saying your wig was dry. And, bitch, that's not a light or a dark skin issue because the driest wigs belong to Giselle and fucking Robin. With them race car tracks going through it. They got the driest wigs of them all, and they the lightest of them all. So I didn't understand how that was light skin privilege to talk about your 4C hair. Like, bitch, we ain't on the show talking about, okay, Ashley has 1B, Giselle is a 2F, but oh, here Candace and Wendy got the 4C. We can't talk about them. But everybody else hair and up we can, but this 4C right here, like, bitch, you are so smart, and this is a compliment, Candace. You are so smart, but you say the dumbest shit. Like, to me, when we want to have a colorism conversation, because I do feel like there's colorism in the group, but Candace is the wrong person to talk. She's the wrong messenger because she wants to use colorism as a weapon to get out of her bullshit. Like, oh, y'all ganging up on me. Colorism. I'm dark. Can't gang up on me. I'm dark. I got the 4C. Like, no, don't use colorism as a weapon because that's a serious issue. I do feel like when Wendy asks, is there colorism in the group? Yes. I think Wendy gets the brunt of the colorism because they use the whistling, they call it dog whistling words to Wendy. Wendy is aggressive. She is very angry. She loves to argue. Wendy is none of that. Wendy isn't aggressive. Robin, you just can't intelligently have a conversation with her. So because you aren't as intelligent as Wendy, now she's aggressive. She always has an aggressive tone. I don't want to talk to her. She always wants to argue. I think Wendy gets the brunt of the colorism. And I also think Wendy is the most level-minded to have the conversation. But I didn't like how I don't like how Candace brought that up because I'm like, bitch, how is you saying it's colorism in the group when you called this woman a whole slave and her white husband an overseer? But people are being colorist to you. That took me out. And it was the wig of it all. The wig of it all. I know you could be colorist against a wig. But let's move on. I already talked about is the colorism in the group. I already said the Candace ain't mature enough to talk about it. I did say the colorism in the group, I believe, is not a conscious thing. I feel like, you know how y'all seen the study of the little kids pointing out the black dowels and the white dowels and how they are subconsciously taught that the darker dowels were bad and the lighter dowels were good. That's how I feel like, and we all understand, well, those are babies, they don't know. But if you grew up being taught that in your subconscious, you don't just eliminate that when you grown. Some people do colorist shit and don't even realize it, and they aren't trying to do it. And I'm not trying to make excuses for these bitches, but I do feel like if Robin and Giselle looked at the show and really cared about the topic of colorism and saw with the video evidence some of the stuff that they do against the darker skinned women, they might say, oh, I can see the optics. Because I'm telling you, the biggest optic of colorism at this reunion is that everyone that's light skinned is ganging up on Candace and telling her mouth is too much. She can't do this. And it looks very the light skins versus the darks, because only Candace and Wendy are trying to say, oh, you can say this, but we can't. Like, my mouth is too much, but you could have a hot box and that's all good. You know, it's the optics, and I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. It's not going to be a good look next season if you all don't. I know y'all ain't really watching my review out there in Potomac land. And I'm talking about the people on the show. I know y'all watch. I know, like, Giselle, Robin, and them, Karen ain't checking for Kiss My Chicks TV. But if you ever come across it, let me tell you, next season, if all of you all gang up on Candace and Wendy, if the optics of it is not going to look good. So I'm just trying to tell you, be conscious. I ain't saying be fake friends with her just because of the optics. I'm just saying, watch how that's going to look. Because on this reunion, it's already starting to look bad. But let's move on. Candace is crying again. And I don't know why. Candace is crying because Ashley and Karen are still friends with Monique. And I just can't get over it. They friends with that bitch. I can't get over it. And you wrote the statement. I ain't gonna never forgive you. I'm not mad. Just don't cry about it. I'm not mad at somebody telling their truth, saying I ain't gonna ever forgive you. What you did, it hurt me to my core. Even if we feel like it's bullshit or not, Candace is giving you her truth. She ain't forgiving your ass, Ashley. Let it be done. But let's not cry over it. Shit. And why are we still talking about Monique? She is not here. They talking about Monique and Jamal so much this reunion. They need a paycheck. Keep going. I wanted to talk about the Ashley versus Candace thing because I was trying to remember, how did it all start? Trying to figure out who started it. But I don't want to get into all of that. There's too many notes because we can go ahead and end this. Yeah, let's go ahead and hurry up and end this. Because I don't care about that butter knife incident, because Ashley, you did bring your big forehead back into Candace's house. And when somebody tell you to leave, bloop, 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 get the fuck out, bitch. I told you to leave. At the end of the day, some people just don't like each other. Okay, let's get on with it. Let's get into Wendy, Giselle, and Robin. Robin says Wendy came back this season with a new attitude and that she was very concerned because she was not being her 5 degrees self. I said, Robin, that's some bullshit. Let me tell you why it's some bullshit. Number one, Robin, you was going through some seasonal depression, remember? So how you so concerned about Wendy and her new attitude? You supposed to be too involved in yourself and getting yourself together. You supposed to be in the bed. You supposed to be concerned about your son's F in English. So how you so concerned about Wendy and her attitude, but you ain't concerned about seeing no counselor or getting no tutor for your child? So that's bullshit, number one. Number two, Wendy was more out of her shell, and I think she was just more relaxed. This was her second season. What I didn't like that Wendy did this season, because I wasn't mad at her new attitude, I didn't like the moments where Wendy played dumb. Like, I need more than a paragraph for a business plan. oh, Eddie, you don't know how to do the finances from a business plan for me? Like, bitch, 5 degrees, bitch, you know how to do a business plan. And if you don't, you know how to work Google and figure the shit out. So I didn't like when Wendy was trying to play dumb. But the new free attitude, I want to party, I want to let it loose and have fun. I wasn't mad at, because let me tell you something. If I spend thousands of dollars to get my body together, bitch, I'm showing it too. I'm showing it too. And y'all bitches would too. And you know, the Eddie rumors. So the blog was a non-credible blog. I like how Wendy brought up only 100 people read this blog, but when you brought it to the show, millions of people now know about these rumors, true or untrue. It was something that didn't have to be said. And I agree with Wendy, because let me tell you, before season 6 aired, I didn't know nothing about no Eddie cheating on Wendy rumors, and I ain't know nothing about Giselle having a hot box. So I agree. Until they brought that shit on the show, I hadn't heard of it. I don't even know what blog they're talking about. Hell, tag it in there so I can start reading the shit before the season come on. I want to hear the tea too. But I agree with Wendy. I didn't know anything about it until they said it on the show. So Giselle is up here screaming, but I never believed it. I never said it was true, bitch. It don't matter if you believed it was true or not. You said it. And let me tell you why I think Giselle is a liar. I know Giselle is a liar, but let me give you an example. And I'm so happy they showed the clip. They showed the clip of Giselle saying, I feel like Wendy got her body done to compensate for the rumors. So pretty much you're saying that Wendy got her body done because she needed to get some new titties and a new ass to keep her man interested at home. You wouldn't say that she needed to get her body done to combat these rumors if you did not believe the rumors were true. You would only say some shit like that if you believe the shit is true. And this is why Wendy did what she did. Now, the read of them all, and I believe that this read should go down in the reunion history books. It's one of the best. It's not as good as the Phaedra one and some of the Kenya ones, and you know, the Nini's close your legs to marry me. But it goes in the book with those. When she said, Giselle, you got a whole tummy tuck and it ain't keep Jamal, did it? I was done. We could end the reunion right there. Ain't shit else got to be said. That was check and mate. The only thing I want to see is what Robin says next week. What does Robin got to say about this next week? Because I already know Giselle ain't going to do nothing but get that look of like she can't believe that Wendy said it, but she ain't going to say nothing because, you know, the wall, the armor is on. I ain't gonna let you know you hurt me. Oh, but Giselle is, I know if she don't shed a single tear, I know her heart is bleeding tears on the inside. That shit hurt. That shit hurt me when Wendy said, I said, ooh, ooh. But what is Robin gonna say? Because you know Robin is about to get in front of that bullet. Oh, she about to get in front of that bullet. And I can't wait to see what other bullets Wendy hit Robin with next week. So that's all I'm looking forward to. That's the end. That's the end. I went a little bit over the 30 minutes, 8 minutes, not too much. But for the most part, these first two reunions have been good to me. It's some shit they could have left out, but for the most part, I have been entertained. Andy, next year for season 7, I need you to let these ladies have a nice Real Housewives of Atlanta moment in some black dresses, because all these pastel color for Easter color dresses, these ladies don't know how to put it together. Let them wear some nice black dresses and let's see what they do with black, because they don't know how to pull off yellow, orange, pink. They did look good in purple. The promo purple dresses were nice. Maybe let them do some nice purple. Ugh, the fashions are a mess this reunion, but that's it. I'm definitely gonna yes, Eric, Robin is a fool. My ass about to be late. I'm supposed to be getting to the gym. 20 minutes, I gotta go change clothes. But yes, Robin is a fool. Giselle next week is gonna fix her lips to say that Michael Darby never stuck his tongue out at anybody in reference to G sticking his tongue out to Karen. Get prepared for the reads, because I am going to roast Giselle next week for saying that. I ain't going to roast it this week. We're going to wait till next week. I'm trying to tell you, ladies, if y'all ladies of Potomac ever come across Kiss My Cheeks TV, the common denominator is not Candace. It's that bitch Giselle. And as soon as y'all get that bitch together and y'all quit letting her think she's the head bitch in charge of Potomac in that raggedy ass house of her, y'all let the raggediest bitch be the one in charge. Until y'all get her together, have fun at work. But thank you, Eric. I got to go have a good workout. I got to go change clothes. I really don't want to go, but I'm about to go. You know how it is. I'm about to go put these clothes on and get in the car and get it in. I will see you all next week for part 3 of the Real Housewives of Potomac reunion. Thank you all so much for rocking with me. Like this video. Go ahead and hit subscribe if you're new to Kiss My Cheeks TV and you are entertained or enjoy. Come back, hit subscribe, and I will see you all later. Bye.